Hi everyone, it's me Emily. Today I have a speed build for a play park on my island. I'm hoping this will turn out very cute, very colourful, just overall a nice kidcore build. I think it's quite a classic thing to put a play park somewhere on a kidcore island, so I definitely wanted to do this. If you do enjoy this video, then please leave it a like and a comment, and make sure that you consider subscribing because I do have lots more Animal Crossing content coming up. So I already have this big area laid out. I've just put down some pathing. I went with this light dirt path because I think it's quite cute and it kind of looks like genuine dirt, and I thought that is quite common in a play park that you might have a dirt ground. I also like it because it's going to allow me to add flowers and weeds to this build later. And so that's why I didn't want to completely cover it in custom designs. I wanted to leave some patches blank so that I would be able to put down that actual wildlife. I'm coming through with these tree standees. Something which I like to do on my builds is to help keep them separate is use simple panels. But I actually thought I would use tree standees for this build, and they worked really well. They still created a nice divide between where the build was and where that resident services is right behind it. And I think they look really sweet. They're very colourful and cute and definitely kidcore, I think. I'm coming through and just adding some tiles in between these custom designs, choosing images which I think are cute, and then I'm just adding the tree standees over top to create a border. This build is, as I kind of said, like tucked right in against where my resident services is, but because I have such clearly defined paths, I think it was okay because it's not going to get in the way of you running or anything like that, because I do have those paths very nicely laid out, so hopefully it shouldn't be any type of issue, even though it is quite close to my other builds. Once I was happy with all of these tree standees, I just started to come through and add some different designs over top, starting out with this super cute hopscotch. I really do love this design code. I think it's so awesome and it just looks so fun. Hopscotch was always one of my favourite games to play as a child. I do have this design code quite close in the areas nearby, so if I find it looks like I've used the same code too often, I will go back and change that, but I think the hopscotch works fine. And then I'm just choosing out different tiles or different codes that I think look nice and just kind of scattering those across this build. What's been going on in my life recently? I had point shoes that fitted today, very exciting. They feel okay, I'm not sure, it was my first time ever having them done, and I have class next week, ballet class, to start kind of learning to go on points, so hopefully that will be exciting. I'm very keen to get going. I think they're awesome. The shoes look so pretty. This octopus code that I'm placing down is awesome. I really love it. It goes together quite easily. It's only 4 design slots. So if you have a kidcore island, I highly recommend it. It's so bright and colourful, such a cute red. If you like any of the design codes which I use in this build, or if you're seeing them around my island and you like them, I do have a video that you can check out on my channel where I list every single one of the 100 design codes that I use on my island. So if any of these take your fancy, make sure to go and have a look at that video because there are loads of options there. So if you're doing a kidcore island or you just fancy any of the codes, then I do recommend you take a look at that video. Once I was happy with the amount of design codes I have, I started to place my furniture, starting out with an elephant slide, and then I thought I was going to use the teacup ride, but it was just so much bigger than what I was expecting, so I decided not to use that because I felt like it took up too much space in the build, and I wanted to make sure that there would still be some open areas. I'm coming through with some mushroom stands, and then I'm going to quickly customize some tire toys. I want to put these into the primary colours red, yellow and blue just because I think those look awesome, and I've got a lot of those kind of three colours are probably the most common on my island, just because they work so well, they're very easy to work with. So I went with those. And tire toys are definitely a classic in a play park. I know that in the kind of local play park where I went, we used to have tires like that built into the dirt, and we could kind of run through and do them. I just quickly grabbed that present because it had a new recipe in it that I wanted. And then I'm placing out these tire toys in a row right here. It's also really nice because in the game you can actually sit down on these, and I kind of like to put areas in my builds where you can sit. It just makes photos easier because you have somewhere to stop. It makes the actual build more interactive, so it's definitely something that I try to incorporate. And these mushrooms are just perfect for a play park. Super colourful. This is from the Mario collection that Animal Crossing released. As for the elephant slide, I should say I like it, but I'm not planning to keep it that colour forever. There is a red elephant slide as well as a blue one, and so as soon as one of those turns up, I think I'm probably going to switch it out for those, just because the colours would match a bit more with my current build. The white and pink slide is cute, but I don't think the colour is as perfect as a red or blue will be. So eventually I do have a plan to change that out. I decided to place down the rodeo style springy ride-on. So cute, definitely one of my favourite toys in play parks was to sit on those kind of like buggy hopper things, like that is the best way I can describe it, with the big spring underneath, and you could rock around on them. They're so much fun. I used to go to play parks quite a lot when I was younger, which is perfect because kidcore definitely has a push for nostalgic elements, so I think it's nice to recreate things that remind you of when you were little. I'm grabbing my weeds and some flowers. I did pick up a bush as well, but I just didn't end up using it. And I'm choosing out a whole selection of different coloured flowers so that I can make sure this build has a lovely range in colour. Nate stopped to talk to me, so I had to cut that bit out. He gave me, I think it was some type of like random furniture he gave me. I'm adding weeds through this build as well as flowers. This is such a nice touch of wildlife, and it makes the build more full without stopping you being able to walk on it, because if I were to place furniture here, it would mean that you couldn't walk through the area. Whereas using weeds and flowers mean that I'm still able to get across this part of my island. I just need to grab something to go on top of that big mushroom. I ended up choosing the dolly. I went with this because it is red and I thought it matched well with the colour of the mushroom. But I'm not sure, maybe it's a bit creepy to have a doll watching you, but I just thought it was a good touch. I'm not sure, I might change that out later, but for now I went with the dolly. And that is where I left it. I was really happy with how this build turned out. I think it is nice and colourful, very interesting, lots of things to look at. So I really hope that you all also think it turned out good and maybe inspired you if you're looking to create your own play park on your island. Maybe this can be some inspiration. With that, let me thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to leave me a like and a comment if you did, and consider subscribing because I have a whole kidcore island to make, so there's lots more content coming out, as well as some videos already up on my channel, and I'll be posting lots of this general Animal Crossing content as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!